Let's cross now to Tehran and speak with our correspondent, Reza Sayah. Reza, I hope you're staying safe. What's the latest on the ground today?
Yeah, from our limited vantage point here in Tehran, things seem quiet for now. It's impossible to report on what's happening elsewhere. Over the past 24 hours, we did hear more airstrikes here in the capital and saw reports of others elsewhere in Iran. And I think it's important to stress that every day it's evident from our vantage point that non-military targets are being hit. State media showing residential buildings hit, at least a dozen civilians reported killed this weekend. 2 university research centers reported hit over the weekend, including one here in Tehran, a cement factory near Shiraz. 2 of Iran's leading steel factories hit. Iran's foreign minister condemning the bombing, saying these attacks show that the U.S. and Israel were never concerned about Iran's nuclear program or any imminent threat. Their true intention, the foreign ministry says, was to destroy Iran's economic and intellectual infrastructures. So Iran is taking a lot of hits, but they're hitting back. Iranian state media reporting hundreds of missile and drone strikes against U.S. bases and assets in Bahrain, the Emirates, Jordan, and Israeli targets. Missile and drone strikes against a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia injured 10 U.S. servicemen and also damaged several American refueling aircraft, as well as an American Ajax plane. These are high-tech reconnaissance aircrafts used for detecting targets, enemy aircraft, and for the overall managing a war zone.
Now, Reza, we know that the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt have been meeting in Pakistan to look for ways to de-escalate the conflict. What's been the reaction to those talks in Iran?
Well, people are watching, but they're not too confident that these are going to go anywhere. These are developments on the diplomatic front that started earlier this week. These foreign ministers are scheduled to meet for the next 2 days and figure out a way to ease tensions, put a pause to the hostilities, and get back to the negotiating table. And the impression is that the first step here is to create a framework of how to do this, how to mediate legitimate talks between 2 countries who are at war, and how to get Iran to trust Washington. Remember, over the past 10 months, on 2 occasions, Tehran and Washington were holding indirect talks when on both occasions the U.S. and Israeli forces attacked Iran. So we'll see what comes out of these meetings in Pakistan, but I don't think too many people in Tehran are holding their breath, and I think there's such a wide gap in demands on both sides that many don't see how the 2 sides can come to an agreement.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see if trust can be rebuilt. Reza, thank you so much for keeping us updated. That's France 24's Reza Sayah in Tehran.